the best dB averaged, and this is amazing, on the portable antenna was a plus 10 dB at 860 miles distant.
All right, welcome again, everybody, to Ham Radio Perspectives. I am Quinn, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, WA9TVD.
And today, Tom, it is vertical versus vertical. Vertical v vertical, like spy versus spy. And we've got the two verticals that we put up against each other. We did some real tests here. Tom is behind this stuff. He's a genius at how he did this. And the two verticals that we are have selected to test here are, first of all, a homebrew model. Tom, take it away.
Okay, based on the testing that we did previously with your dipole versus the portable vertical and the mobile version antenna versus your portable, I figured the best thing to do next to follow up would be to test a real vertical against the portable vertical. So what I have here at home is a homebrewed 35-foot tri-band vertical for 40, 20, and 10 meters. And it consists of 16 buried radials, and it's has fixed tuning. So every band is individually tuned for maximum performance versus the Radioddity HF009 portable.
This is the one that we tested.
Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
Yeah, this is the one we tested with the other videos. We'll put some links to those videos too. It's a relatively inexpensive portable vertical. It's not meant for long-term installation in a specific location outdoors. I suppose you could do that. I don't know how well it would weather, even though it's well made. But in any case, what's interesting about this is it's about 12 feet high, depending on the adjustments you make on it, but it's right around 12 feet. And it's multi-band. You can see here 6 to 60 meters or 5 to 50 megahertz. And it has variable tuning that you do by hand. So it's a little different than Tom's. You have to kind of run out and retune it each time. But it's portable, fits in a little bag. So Tom's got this tried and true homebrew vertical of his that works extremely well, especially on the digital modes. He has a ball with it. And then we put it up against the Radioddity HF009 portable. We'll put a link in the description too about this, so you can find out more information on the portable if you're interested in that. I was interested in getting one of those, Tom, because as you know, my wife and I spend a fair amount of time on the road doing various things. And I wanted something I could throw into the car or the motorhome and then quickly set up in different locations. And I thought maybe vertical would be a good idea for that. So picked it up for that. But we really wanted to run the tests to see what we could come up with. So here's what they actually look like. Tom, talk about your installation on the left.
Okay, it's 31 foot tall. It's on a repurposed fiberglass government HF antenna. It has 16 buried radials circumferentially all around it. I've got the tuning stubs on there that each is individually tuned for 40 meters, 20 meters, and 10 meters. It gets out extremely well. And I thought it would be a good test of like the big gun versus the pea shooter.
How long are the radials, Tom?
The radials vary between 16 feet long and 35 feet long. And they're staggered like a wagon wheel around it.
And you've got them all in the under the grass, I assume.
Right, they're buried about 1 inch down.
Okay. Anything else about your particular installation there on the left that you want to say?
Okay. Well, the installation has got about 100 feet of coax running to the antenna from my station in the house, and I duplicated that with an additional 100 feet going to the Radioddity antenna, so that we're talking apples to
Oh,
apples here. I'm trying to keep any variable as minimal as possible.
boy, that's great. I didn't know that you did that. Yeah. So on the right, gang, you can see there the Radioddity in my backyard and the excess coax out there, 100 feet running to it, set up there. It's about 12 feet high. You can kind of see right in the middle a little bit over here. If I can get the pointer to it, I can't get the pointer over there, but you can kind of see the tuning coil. So yours is tuned at the base, and this is tuned in the middle, right, Tom?
That is correct.
Okay, so that's another variation that we're plugging in here that makes it a little bit different to look at these. Okay, so let's move on here to how you organized this, the test.
Okay. The radio I'm using is a old Kenwood Model 820S. It's one of my better radios. It's got two finals and a Pi network on it. So if I'm screwing up on the tuning, I'm not going to blow the finals out on it. The mode I chose to use was FT8, and the reason for that is I can get almost instantaneous results off of a PSK reporter that we'll show you shortly. I ran us 30 watts to each of the antennas. The time was between 1600 and 1700 hours UTC. I wanted to keep the test within a 1 hour span to avoid any fluctuations and propagation. And the results, like I say, were compiled from PSK Reporter. The two antennas are shown. The portable Radioddity is in yellow. My big gun vertical is in green. So with
Okay,
PSK
and
Reporter,
yeah,
yeah,
well, I'll hop to PSK reporter in just a second. On the timing, so with that being UTC there, you're not looking at a gray line period or anything. You're just looking at daytime
no, I'm not. No, this is
conditions.
strictly daytime. And between those 2 hours, there seems to be a lot of monitoring on the band. So I wanted to
Okay,
keep it as yeah.
all right, good. And here's your PSK. Tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, this is PSK Reporter. If you're not familiar with it, it's on the internet. What they have are receiving stations that intercept your signal. It shows where the signal was received, gives the distance in miles, and also gives the signal report at that location. And what I did is I went through on each transmission, on each of the bands, went to PSK Reporter, identified the furthest destination that antenna produced results at, and the signal report from that location. So you can see
Wow.
there's a lot of stations clustered around the center, and you can see that there's some out in the western Oregon, Washington area, some out in far eastern Canada, some down in Florida and Cuba. So what I did is I went through, and each of those little bubbles indicates the signal report and the distance from the transmitted station. So
Brilliant.
again, I went each of those bubbles, found the furthest destination, and the signal report reported at that destination. And I did that
Oh,
for each of the bands on 40, 20, and 10 meters.
brilliant, brilliant. This is a good study. I don't know anyone who's done anything like this and published it online like this, but I really, really like it, Tom. So we're going to look at the data as they came in now, comparing Tom's gold standard vertical with all the radials to the portable that has only 3 radials. all the same length, and see what Tom came up with. So explain this to us here, Tom.
Okay. The 40-meter band is what's shown there towards the bottom. I indicated the standing wave on each of the antennas at that frequency. The best indicated signal strength and the maximum distance. Okay, for example here, the yellow, once again, is the Radioddity. The green is my full-size vertical. The standing wave on 40 meters on the portable antenna was, we were able to match it to a 1.1 to 1. The fixed vertical, I got a 1.6 to 1. The best dB averaged, and this is amazing, on the portable antenna was a plus 10 dB at 860 miles distance. On the full-size vertical, the best signal measured was a negative 5 dB, which is 15 dB less than the portable antenna at a distance of 971 miles, which is a little bit further. The signal strength was better on the portable. The distance was better on the ground-mounted full-size antenna. So it's a little bit amazing here, but it's all data and facts are facts.
Yeah. Before we look at the other bands, do you have any sense of how to explain this?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Before we look at the other bands, do you have any sense on how to explain the differences here?
No, possibly higher ground losses on my fixed vertical.
Okay.
That's the only thing that comes to mind. The difference in standing waves should not be that great as far as received signal strength.
Yeah. I mean, you got them both tuned, and that doesn't make any difference. But the difference in the signal strength with the maximum distance for each one is really quite remarkable. Okay, let's pick it up from there and look at the other two bands.
Okay, on 20 meters, again, the standing wave on the portable antenna was 1.3 to 1. The fixed antenna was 1.5 to 1, so they're comparable there. Here is the difference is a little bit more noticeable. On the portable antenna, I had a signal strength of a positive 5 dB. On the fixed antenna, a positive 10 dB. So this is where the full-size antenna shines better. However, the distance on the portable antenna was over 4,800 miles versus just under 4,000 miles on the fixed antenna. So, here I would say it's probably pretty much a wash. The results are pretty comparable for FT8 at that time of the day on that band.
Yeah, within the
On 10
tolerance
meters,
here.
oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
right.
10 on the bottom.
Okay, and on 10 meters, the best I could do on the Radioddity antenna due to hand capacitance was 2.2 to 1. The closer I got to the antenna, the more the standing wave changed. So I got it to 2.2 to 1 and left it there. My fixed antenna, 1.5 to 1. Here, the difference on 10 meters was negligible as far as the signal strength goes, between negative 8 dB and negative 9 dB. However, the distance was amazing difference there. A little over 1,100 miles were done on the portable antenna, and I got over 4,900 miles on my big antenna. So, although there's a slight difference in signal strength, the distance traveled, probably due to skip, was significantly different. So, on 20 meters, we're looking pretty much 1-to-1 as far as capability goes. On 10 meters, signal strength is similar. DX is extremely different. On
Mm-hmm.
40 meters, again, there was a big difference in signal strength with the portable antenna measuring a better signal strength, but comparable at DX. So uh, the conclusion I can draw from this, Quinn, is that little portable antenna performs remarkably well compared to the big gun. And if you're living in an HOA or you're doing a portable installation like you are, where you're traveling around, I would say that that little Radioddity antenna competes very well in most circumstances with a fixed base 31-foot vertical with 16 radials. What do you think, Quinn?
Yeah, it's astonishing. Astonishing. Of course, we don't know all the factors involved here. There is a difference in height. I would have expected that the Radioddity would not perform nearly as well on 40 meters because it's so much shorter, around 12 feet compared to your 31 feet. And yet, negligible on 40 meters. That absolutely baffles me. And so I tend to agree with you. I think that the Radioddity is quite a performer. Now, you mentioned the hand capacitance issue, and in another video that we have linked down below, we talk about that issue, setting it up, and then you have to go over and put your hand on the coil to move the resonant frequency stub, or whatever you want to call it there, up and down. And it's very tough to do that and then get your hand off it or walk away from it and have it stay at the right setting. But you can get it within, well, when we experimented there in Indiana too, it was no problem at all to get it under 2-to-1 real quickly. It just took seconds to get it there. And then if you wanted to fiddle with it some more and go back and forth and get it down lower, you could do that. Although sometimes, for reasons that I couldn't explain here in my yard, when I would adjust it, I could get it, even with the hand capacitance issue, down real low. And then when I took my hand off, it didn't seem to make a big difference.
Right.
So it's baffling. But I think the Radioddity is quite a performer. And I'm glad that we were able to run these tests. I still know that when I'm out in the field using it, Tom, and you're at home with your big gun,
Mm-hmm.
at least on some bands, some of the time, you're going to knock my socks off. But that's okay, because I can put mine in a little bag and take it along with me.
Right. Mine doesn't fold up very well.
No, not at all. And you have to cut the grass over years. So I'll take mine without having to cut the grass any old
No,
time.
right.
So this is it, gang. 2
But
verticals. Go ahead.
from my experience, if you're in an HOA with limited ability for having an antenna, I would say that little Radioddity would be the perfect setup because you can set it up so quickly. You could
At
tune it
night.
into a band very quickly, and you can make
Yeah.
it disappear just as quickly.
Right. And of course, we did the test with the Radioddity too, where you climbed up the ladder in the back of my motorhome, my Winnebago, and attached it at the top up there. And it didn't work any worse that way with a fiberglass Winnebago cab, or not the cab, but the coach area, than it did when we had it on the ground nearby. So it's got a lot of possibilities for how you would use it. I can even think of, if you're in an HOA where you have a balcony, you put the Radioddity there on the balcony, and the best you can, just stretch out the radials on the balcony and then maybe hang one over if you don't have a neighbor's window directly below you. Spook them. And let her rip. So that's the test, gang. Vertical versus vertical, spy versus spy, like the old Mad magazine. And we tried to do this as objectively as we could so that you could see the results, and put your comments down below it. If you've got any other ideas on how to explain the results, we would love to hear them. This did lead us to think about our early days with verticals, where we both had, get this, Gotham. You heard us right, Gotham verticals. And so we are going to do a little video coming up on the Gotham V80, or they had a V40 and all too, which are very simple little verticals, which they claimed you didn't need any grounding for. But we'll talk about that, and we'll show some ads from the old Gothams, because those were really simple to use, and everybody was buying those things. They sold a lot of them out of Largo, Florida, I guess it was back then. So watch for that video coming up too. Thanks everybody for watching. Hey, please subscribe, post some comments down below, and we'll look forward to meeting with you on the next video from Ham Radio Perspectives. I'm Quinn, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
7-3, everybody.